Good morning, it's Harvey Jackson. Just going to get into some of the news in the up to the last couple of hours. Trump pushed forward on Truth Social that he was going to extend the deadline for the 50% tariffs on a number of goods. So here he's scheduled to kick in tomorrow morning for a 3-day period based on the fact that Canada and the U.S. is subject to finalization of the documents have a deal. So and he says the great Keystone Pipeline, long ago killed by sleepy Joe Biden, may be awoken from the grave. Thank you for your attention. So sounds like there's going to be some sort of deal, and the Keystone Pipeline is on the go. So he's got 3 days for Carney to recover from his holiday. Must be one hell of a jet lag, I guess. Anyway. So here, another guy on X, Trump reviving the Keystone XL will do more for Canada than Carney has done in 2 years. I thought that was good. But here, a little bit more detail of from the northern perspective. They're saying cut auto tariffs from 25 to 15. I don't know if all these things are going to happen. Keep the exemption for the U.S.-made content on Canadian-built autos. Cut steel tariffs to roughly 10 to 15%. So all of these are concessions. Cut aluminum tariffs to a single-digit rate within a quota, higher rates above quota. Back off threatened new August 19th tariffs on more Canadian goods, electronics, alcohol, dairy, etc. So there's tariff relief, but not eliminated. I thought this was interesting here too, is just the correlations the RBC guys have put together. The only thing that they forgot is to put in the soy seed and meal. So I'd like to see it in there. Sometimes there's a shift of where the correlation for the seed price is coming from as well. But I think everybody understands it. But sometimes in the graphic you get to see it here. But you can see the pretty strong correlation of heating oil to crude oil. And you can see the fairly strong correlation of European rapeseed has really increased in this last month, and where it was only 37% correlation. And you can see palm oil increased as well in European rapeseed as well. So the last month there's been a correlation to the veg oils a lot stronger. I thought this was interesting too. Richard Diaz, he's an economist or whatever, and this Tony Dean talking about the Keystone Pipeline. We're heading into tariff shitstorm with the U.S. in time to look at the cutting back on potash, oil, uranium exports. U.S. imports 97% of its potash, and most of it comes from Canada. This Tony Dean, he's a senator, a Canadian senator, and he doesn't even know where the oil comes from to keep Ontario going. It's just unbelievable. Pro farmer results, they're not quite done yet. There's still one more day of walking, as far as I understand. So, but you can see that there's a substantial drop from last year and the last couple of years as well. So, and you can see the pod counts are down as well for corn and soybeans, if that means anything on yield. Quick look at the weather. So you get this hot and dry in the Four Corner states, right? Basically here, it looks like we're going to get some heat here, but the moisture is hitting the same area all the time. It seems you can see it here. And here's the 1 to 7 day outlook for the spring wheat belt. The spring wheat belt is there, but it's also up there. And you can see that the week 2 looks like we're going to get some moisture that's going to hit some of those areas. So we'll have to see how the spring wheat crop fares. A lot of it's starting to dry down. So it might not be the right time in 2 weeks' time from now. Canola was down pretty hard yesterday. It was down $23, and we've recovered half of that back as I talk right now. So it's currently at $817.80. Soybean oil is up as well. It had a big loss there yesterday. Now trading at 70.28 cents. Palm oil is still on its way up there. Crude oil just shy of the $85 barrel. Soybeans up 11 cents. Spring wheat down 1 3/4 cents at 7.02. Hard red winter is down 5 cents and trading at 7.53. Chicago is down fractionally at 6.80, and corn is up at 1.5 cents. And the Canadian dollar's recovered from yesterday's losses. So here you can see that it basically got down to the previous what was a high now becomes resistance, and it's right at the 61.8 area as well. So it looks like it's potentially going to bounce off of there. Here's your rapeseed, still on the upward trend. Your soybean oil, it's getting caught in this wedge, but it needs to break out of there as time goes on if it keeps on trading through there. And your soybean futures, it's right at the 78.6 retracement value, and looks like it could potentially try to get back up to those values. And here's your palm oil. It still continues to make new highs. There's a gap, of course. Here's your crude oil, and I thought I would just show you the difference in the inversion. It's inverted, not strongly inverted, but it's inverted. So you got this whole backwardation happening here. So you got $86 a barrel down to the same month, 73 next year. So that's shows up even in your diesel fuel futures. So you got diesel fuel at 449, and that same month for next year is 323. So you got this backwardation of happening on diesel fuel futures. So that's 323 a US gallon. And same thing with the gasoline here as well. So you got 332 trying to make new highs here, and you look at September next year, it's 255. Canadian dollar was negative yesterday. Now trying to basically erasing those losses. It still looks like it's in this upward trend. Spring wheat, it's basically taking a pause here right at this short-term moving average, trading above it at the moment. And here's your Kansas. It's taken a pause for the last couple of days and stalling up here as well. Here's your Chicago and your French Matef wheat. It's been just lots of choppy trades with barely any upward movement, but basically just tracking sideways. Your French corn is on its way up, and same thing with the North American